Hello, welcome to another episode of Catch Up with Toiva. With me today is Quadri, who I popularly refer to as Marcelo. He's a fellow international student and an African in Kyompuk National University. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself, but before he does, I want to take this opportunity to appreciate our returning subscribers. Thank you for your effort. I see your kind words and I don't take them lightly. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and watch my previous videos. I would appreciate that. So, today we want to talk about how South Korea is for international students. And Mr. Quadri here is going to be sharing his views about that. We've had a previous discussion prior to this recording about the topic, in which he shares his points that he actually feel that Africans should find South Korea easier to live compared to some other countries where people are going for international studies. Well, I don't share that view. So in this video, people are going to like see why you feel that way and why I don't share the views with you based on our personal experiences. So could you please introduce yourself?
Everyone. My name is Quadri. I'm a graduate student here in South Korea at Kyungpook National University. My major is geotechnical engineering, and I'm doing my master's and PhD, combined master's and PhD program here. So nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. You wanted to say something. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Thank you for that shout out. Advertise. Thank you so much. So that was a very beautiful introduction. Thank you for sharing that with us. So going to the discussion at hand, do you think South Korea is good for Africans?
Yeah, first, I'll just share my little experience here in South Korea, like what I feel, because I actually have maybe very little experience compared to her.
Please stop.
She has been living here for a while now. She got here before me. So, like, for me, I think South Korean people are friendly, and they are cultural, and they are very spiritual sometimes. Not all. I'm not trying to generalize all this.
Of course.
So like getting to South Korea, I think the approach to me personally, I think is a very good one because I'm a foreigner and actually what I heard about people meeting black for the first time, like in Western world and some part of the world is actually crazy. So I think for them they welcome foreigners based on my own experience, they welcome foreigners and they try to help whenever you need one. So that's what I think generally about Koreans.
Okay, that's interesting. But as an international student, so far, you, from what you've said, you mean that you feel welcomed here in South Korea.
Yeah.
You like the way they are supportive and they are helpful whenever you need their help.
Yeah.
But for me, I've tried to make friends with Koreans. I try to because we're all here to study and generally everyone knows that study is actually hard. Sometimes you want to go outside that circle and actually
some people actually think so studying abroad is very easy.
Actually maybe I was part of those people because the reality was really different. So when I got here I was like, oh my god, what went wrong? Was I too nice? Did I come off too strongly? That kind of thing. But later as I interacted with more South Koreans, I realized that it's just their cultural belief that you shouldn't be in other people's spaces uninvited, and even if they invite you, you should learn when to leave. So I respected that. And as an African, we're always all up in other people's business. You call me to anything, I show up and I show off,
I think they don't like that.
Yes.
They live in private life. Even their own friends in Korea, like their own Korean friends, they live a very private life. And I'm not talking about the friendly, like, let me try to clarify the meaning of friendly I said earlier. Like, they are friendly in such a way that they are welcoming. They are trying to welcome people, not that you make friends with them or stuff like that. So like Korean people, they are kind of private. Let me see.
So do you think South Korea is good for foreigners?
Yeah, I think it's actually good for foreigners based on my own experience because when I got here, I actually have a different opinion. Like from what I've heard from the media, movies, and stuff like that. So I was thinking maybe it's just going to be me alone, me and my brothers alone.
You are your leader.
Me and my African brothers alone. But then I think when I got here, I was welcomed by some Korean friends and colleagues, and they are very supportive sometimes. So this is what I think about them. And actually, some people might have different view and different experience about them. But based on my own experience, I think so far they are still nice because I have a little experience here in Korea compared to my.
Please don't even go there. I think as a black man in Korea, the first thing that you have to accept is the fact that you are strange to Koreans.
Yeah.
We are like at the other side of the world. We are so far away,
Yeah.
and we're not many.
And
So
what they heard about us in the media too is
it's
actually
really,
crazy.
really
Yeah.
bad. It's bad. So when you get to Korea, you already come with so much enthusiasm, and you already have so much expectations set.
Yeah.
So when you come here, you are faced with different cultural beliefs. You are faced with different mindsets because
Yeah.
Koreans don't like slow people,
Yeah.
and we take our time. Africans generally, even though we are very hardworking, when we work to the T, right?
Yeah.
But we are sometimes we procrastinate, we are lackadaisical, especially when we get familiar with people. Koreans don't like that, and that's why they try to not get familiar with themselves too much.
Yeah, that's some of the things that I think we need to learn from them. Like, it's sad that Africans need to learn from countries like Koreans because these are some of the things that actually project this country like Korea because they are very hardworking. Even at this level of their development, they still work very hard.
Yes.
Like, it's actually crazy sometimes when you see some of them working very hard. Like they have, it's not about the money. It's just the
Delivery.
like the passion for their country and the patriotism. Like they just want their country to be at the top and stuff like that. Africans, I think we get. Sorry to say this. I think we get tired easily sometimes. Maybe because we felt there's no output or something like that. But then they try to push harder, like they work harder, try to
Until
improve,
they get something
until they
good.
get it done, and they still keep working even at the level of their development. So these are some of the things we have to learn. And if we are trying to develop, because if we learn from them, we try to develop ourselves personal, like we try to develop ourselves, and then we can use this to develop something in our various countries. So like the Korean peoples, if we want to develop more than them, we have to learn what they do and modify.
Okay.
So that is that we are doing like double job. That's that's what I'll say about that.
Thank you for your response. That was very insightful. You mentioned something about community, that when you came, you were lucky to find some brothers. I understand for our university, we have a standing association for Nigerian students, and we usually have a general meeting where we invite other African students. Would you say that community has played a major role in your stay as an international student in Korea, and how? And would you say that anybody that's coming need to actually align themselves with community? I'm asking these questions based on the things that I've heard. There are some people that have had bad experiences with their community abroad, where there are issues of backbiting or sabotaging or stuff like that. Would you say it more advantages than disadvantages?
Here in Korea, I think I would like to appreciate the Nigerian community because they've done a lot.
I'm also part of the community, so it's appreciating me.
Like they've done a lot
Yeah.
on the issue of maybe you are paying some fees, you are doing stuff. Like they really help me when I get here, like to do stuff, to get like it's all my process, like all my admission processes and my accommodation and everything was sorted easily through this association. So about some people talking about their community backbiting and stuff like that. I think in most cases we need to avoid generalizing some of this stuff. So because people are not the same everywhere. So I think the community here is actually a very good one, and they try to teach you some of their cultures and some of the do and don'ts of the Korean people generally.
Well,
And this
I have my reservation on that, but I will let you conclude.
some of these things will actually help you when you are studying here and your way of life in Korea generally. So I really appreciate their efforts. I
Yes.
think that's it.
I also came through that route. I was a person that got a blessings from the alignment with community. The Nigerian community here played a very huge role in how I got selected for my scholarship and how I found myself in Korea. But what I realized is that when people go out of Africa, we tend to bring Africa along with us.
Yeah,
Yes, so we
like that's one of the things we have to do. We don't
we
have
need
to
to do
really talk.
better. Yes. So there's no lone wolf anywhere. You need your community to grow. You need your community to flourish. And we're thankful for the community of the Nigerian Students Association of Kyompuk National University. We want to take this time to appreciate everyone who, in one way or the other, have reached out to other applicants and admission seekers offline or online and facilitated their arrival in South Korea. They didn't just stop there, they also helped in balancing well and community integration in South Korea. So, thank you very much. So, the next question I have for you is I want you to list some advantages, some pros of living in South Korea.
I think the first advantage is because these people are actually cultural, and I think going to Western world, you might not find this except the African community there. So one of the things about these Korean people is that they are cultural, and one of the things I really feel sad about in African is that our culture is fading off, and we need to learn from these people because their culture is one of the major things that people actually see and actually cherish about them. So another thing is that as an African student, I don't think the food might be a problem, but for me, I don't really think it's a problem like
Oh,
that. Because
you are listing the disadvantages. You're going to get there.
no, like I'm
What
talking
about security?
security. I think their security
Infrastructure?
is top notch. The food is actually one of the advantages because
Really?
I don't see any bad thing about it. I'm not eating their food. If you can cook
But you're already saying the food is good. So why? How do you know the food is good?
their food,
Yeah, if it is an
like
advantage.
no, I mean for African people, you might not have problem of food. Like if you can cook.
Okay.
If you can cook,
Mm,
you can. I think rice is actually a universal food like that
yes,
everybody
and it's
eats.
quite
So
cheap here.
it's actually
But
cheap.
the only problem I have is that the rice here is soft compared to the
You
rice that
can
we are
get the
used
all
to
these
in Africa.
Indians rice and stuff like that, and
Basmati
basmati
rice.
rice and
Mm.
stuff. You can get noodles
But
and
I think basmati rice was for diabetes or patients. I'm not sure.
serious.
I'm not a
I don't
medical
know.
person, but that's what I heard
Well,
because of its
I
taste.
like basmati more than the normal rice, so that's why.
In any case, rice is
Yeah, and
cheaper
another thing
here.
is security is actually top notch. Like I think Korea, you can actually work anytime and you can go anywhere. Like you're not even scared about you stealing their stuff or you taking
Yeah.
their credit card
It's
and
only
doing
in Korea that you go to a
it's actually
cafe,
very
you leave your
secure and
items, and
yeah,
then
they have convenience store. You can just walk there and pay and do everything yourself. They have
services.
self services like the petroleum station or stuff like that.
Mm.
And another thing is their transportation system. I think is one of the best in the world. Like,
Yes, I
yeah,
agree.
sometimes you might not even if you don't have money to buy a car, you are good in Korea because you can net like from your house to the bus station is very close. They make sure that the bus station is actually very close to every neighborhood. So
Mm.
going with that, you can actually travel without stress,
Yes.
moving from one city to another.
Yes, it's quite
So
cheap,
yeah, it's quite
and the
cheap
longest
and
you can go in Korea is from Seoul to Busan by
Busan,
train.
very fast.
And yes, the fastest train costs I think $45.
Yeah, $40.
$40.
Yeah,
So
even
that's
less
quite
than that.
cheap. Yes, and that's under an hour or even just an
Yeah,
hour.
and very fast
It's
and stuff
fast.
like that.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's
And
cheap.
I think another thing is that their technology
Okay.
and their growth, the development.
Okay.
And you stated something earlier about the way they work. I think those are some of the things we need to learn from them.
Mm.
What I just think about African people coming here is that it's just that we have to develop our own continent too. And if we have to do that, we have to learn from some people that just migrated from the developing stage to the developed stage. So
Yes,
I
a
think
very good case study of Korea.
Of Korea, like they just developed maybe some years
Yes,
back,
back,
and they actually did it with their patriotism and also the
hard
passion,
work.
that work they actually have towards their country. So if we try to learn some of these things, I think it's going to help most of the African students studying over here to develop their country. And I think another thing is that some of the things we get wrong is that we try to mix leadership and our country together. It's two different things, because I can remember during the World Cup when these Korean guys troop out toward their matches.
Yeah, that was
And
really
the next
wrong.
morning, I think they protested against their president because of this Itaewon stampede.
Incidents, yes.
So like, it's two different things. If you don't like your leader, that doesn't mean you should hate your country. It's two different things.
Yes.
The leader will leave the seats and the country
But the country will remain.
So like, if you have a developed country, you still have everything, and with that you can actually select a very good leader, and even the leader will know that this is where I'm going, and it's not going to come and be doing trash on the sea. So these are some of the things we have to learn from them. Like, be passionate about your country, and we have to work very hard, because there's no free lunch everywhere, and we have to work for this if we want a very good, a better continent. Rather.
Yes,
So,
Africa will be great again. So yeah, we've talked about the pros. Could you list some cons, like disadvantages of living in Korea? Me, I will go first.
I'll go first. I think it's not that the cons is
There are many.
it's too much. Like, but the first one, I think, is the language barrier.
I knew it. I knew you would say that. But you can speak a little Korean, can't you?
I think with that,
I think yesterday I texted Odi, so
no, I can read most Korean, but
okay.
sometimes I might not understand the meaning. But the thing is that, like, all international students have to study Korean
language.
Like,
of course, it makes sense, because
it makes sense, but
Korean language is the
you can only understand the basics, and then I think that's okay for you to some extent.
This is why I advise people to come in through the Global Korea Scholarship, because
But it's very
to survive
hard.
in Korea, you really need to, for good cultural integration, you need to learn the language, no matter how basic it may be. You need to be able to have a basic
The
conversational.
language is very hard. Even Korean, they do say that. Like,
Yes, it's hard for everyone,
yeah.
but if you can like try and like just get to the
Yeah.
basics and be able to converse, order, book stuff online, you're still good, right?
International student, I think it's a very good one if you can learn it. Even if you are leaving this country after your
Yes,
study,
it's useful.
It's useful, and
If at all you can do anything, you can actually open a YouTube channel and start teaching how to speak Korean. It's really useful.
Like, they feel so happy when they see international students
Speak Korean, yes.
Because I can remember when I traveled, like, I met one Korean, then I just say, and like,
It was even house owners, before they give you accommodation, sometimes they want to be sure that you understand them, and when they make rules, that you are going to understand what they mean and you are there to it. And even when you want to make conversation with new people and you start with English, they get scared. But when you start with Annyeonghaseyo, that's enough to disarm them. They will really want to listen. Okay, at least you made an effort.
So then they can start talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Koreans can really talk, right?
Yeah, you can really talk.
Yeah, but when you see them, you'll be like, oh my god, how do I start this conversation? And sometimes they will just overtake conversations from you. You'll be like, you look like you were not going to talk to me. So how did this come about? Are there any other disadvantages that you can list?
I think about their old people. I think they're conservative and stuff like that, because most of them, I think I read something about them. I think they really get scared of strangers sometimes.
This is not even about Africans now. It's about foreigners.
Because
yes,
from their history, they really up them, and they feel so scared when they see foreigners. So the trauma is there for some old people in Korea. So, but their young people, they see like,
those ones don't actually care.
Because they see you in school. And
they're actually even proud
like,
whenever you tell them you are here to study.
You want to learn English, and when you speak to them, they would like to talk to you.
That's why there are so many language exchange platforms.
because they made and some of the young people have actually traveled around the world. So that's one of the good thing about Korea because they travel a lot because they have a very good visa passport rather.
Yes.
So I think about the cons.
Those are all the things that you can think of. You're not going to mention the fact that the palette of their food is quite different from Africans to some extent.
Yeah, I think
For one, they don't use Maggi. That's my own first headache.
I think most people actually don't use Maggi.
In
Maggi,
Korea.
No, I'm not talking about Korea now. So like
abroad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have other things they use.
What about the taste of the Korean food? Why do you not eat Korean food? Okay, let me ask that question. Why do you not eat Korean food? You mentioned that you don't
Even
eat
in
it.
Nigeria, I don't eat all Nigerian food. So that's not a personal thing. Like I don't like all these watery foods and stuff.
Oh,
so
you're quite selective with your food.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
okay,
why
people. Hey.
no, that's why I don't try like all these soup. Yes, like I can't eat it. It's not possible.
Oh, really? They are quite delicious too.
I can taste it.
Okay, thank you so much for your contribution. Is there anything else that you'd like to add that I might have forgotten to ask you while I was asking those questions?
Yeah, I think one of the things people should look out maybe when you are trying to apply for scholarship and stuff like that. I think most people actually prepare for pre-relocation process. Like before you travel, that's all you think about. Like most people actually don't think about when I get there, what is going to be the next step and stuff like that. Like you don't. It's not that like it's good to travel and explore places so that you can learn and see some new things. But then you have to think about your own personal life because you are trying to like you are trying to use part of your life over there
to serve.
So like you have to think about things to do when you get there apart from studying. Like what are you going to gain to develop yourself personally. So see, these are some of the things you have to look at. Like I think some of these countries are just developed, like countries like Qatar, especially Asian countries like Korean, Qatar, Saudi Arabia too has developed a long time ago. But like all these countries are doing amazing things. Their technology is top notch. So people too should look out for some of these countries, like consider them for scholarship and stuff. So like the competition might not be too much, but I think there are restrictions. One of the major problems is their visa
restrictions.
Because most of
you mean for Koreans?
Koreans and even I think Saudi too, their visa is not really easy like that because that's why I think most people actually don't come there. But when you have a very strong recommendation and maybe the person is really like you really want you to come down to study, maybe he can help you maybe talk to the consular and no consul talk to the embassy rather because it might not be able
the consular is the head of the embassy.
You might not be able to reach out to the consular. It's not that easy to because the consular is actually also a big man and might not even have time for a common citizen like our common citizen. So it might be easy to something like that. So like and you have just pray and I think the post relocation is actually very important.
Yes. What next after?
Because I think that's why most people now when you see on social media like they're crying out that like it's cold, I'm working inside the cold, they don't tell me this, they don't tell me that.
Nobody will tell you that.
Nobody will tell you now. Like, it's some of the things you have to plan. Like this is the way. Like you have. One of the I'll mention one of the things I don't like about Korea.
Okay, another one.
Maybe the winter season, like
you hate cold.
Nobody likes cold. I don't.
I do.
Oh.
Nobody likes cold.
Even Korea don't like.
Well, I would really pick winter over summer. Summer is crazy here.
No, so those are some of the things people have to learn, and you have to learn that you have to develop yourself because over here is about your ability. It's not really about your certificate. Like
you have to be able to contribute something significant
so that's it.
Through paper writing, through project contributions or stuff like that. You just have to submit your own quota in development of the lab or the professor's project that you find yourself. Thank you for your insight.
Thank you. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
We were going to talk about winter. That
Yeah,
is bad, right?
it's bad, but I
It's
think
just
summer is worse.
yeah, summer
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 is
is worse
worse.
for me. I was going to argue that
Even during summer,
at
I
least
actually pray for winter because it's
yes,
actually
because with
crazy.
winter you can
The
control.
temperature is actually lower than Nigeria, but the humidity is crazy
Yes,
because
actually.
there's no like there's
There's no
no air
hair.
at all. Like
There's no
I've not
hair.
seen that
Everywhere
kind
is
of weather
just
before. Like
hot, hot, hot. Like so yeah, summer is crazy, winter is fair. At least you can layer up. You can like
yeah,
use control
I think
that
spring and
temperature.
autumn
They are the
is
best.
yeah, it's the
They're the best
best.
seasons in Korea. So that's that on why Korea is good for Africans, for international students, and for a black man like Mr. Quadri. Thank you so much
Yeah, you're
for
welcome.
appearing on this episode, and thank you for taking your time to answer those questions.
Yeah, no
And
problem.
like he has said, I want to reiterate that nobody is going to take care of our country for us. We have
Yeah,
to be intentional about
I
that and
think
be it's a collective responsibility.
yeah, those are some of the plans we have to look towards.
If
Like
there's anything to learn from
if we
Koreans,
are traveling abroad, just know that like maybe if you're not planning to go back very soon, maybe in the next 40 years, 50 years, you still go back home.
you
Like
have to go
yeah,
home
so like if you go back to a very worse
country.
country, it's going to be I don't know because
If it's not going to affect you, at least it will affect your family
yeah, it's
at
going to
another
affect
time.
him. It's going to affect the person too because when you go back there and some of the amenities you're actually enjoying
Things are
abroad
not
and like
working.
it's not even working at all. Like you just spend even sometimes your money cannot buy some of these things because you can't get it easily. You have to ship it down and stuff like that. So these are some of the things we have to look towards. Like I'm not saying like maybe when you finish your school you should go back, but try like when you develop yourself, you can actually serve the country and try
That's
to
right.
recreate this in your own country.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things we should look at as students and also maybe some people working abroad. Try to give back to the community from your experience and maybe your knowledge. Try to share
That should be
it.
the end goal.
Yeah. So that's it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
you're welcome.
appreciate your time. And wow, we've talked for a long time and it's
Mm,
been very engaging. Thank you so much.
you're
And maybe
welcome.
some other time you'll come back on here to tell us
Yeah,
some
sure. I'm available
improvement. Maybe you would have
anytime.
learned Korean language at that time, or you would have started
I can
eating
speak some.
our watery soup. Thank you for calling it watery soup.
I can't
We'll manage it. Thank you so much. Thank you, viewers. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't
yeah,
forget
try
to
to
like
subscribe. Yeah.
and comment on the video. Bye. See you some other
Bye.
time.
Yeah,
Ayun,
kasi
say